All right. Had a pretty bad coughing attack during the break. That's not good. Do you want to do the intros? I get you some water.
All right, in the bottom right, actually, I wasn't on your camera, so I don't know, but in the bottom right, as the blue Protoss, is Invasion Esports Harstem. And in the top left, well, not mostly in the top left, he is the red Terran MaSa, going for 3 racks?
No, two important factors here. One, that he walled this off to keep Harstem out of the base. You could argue that this looks a little bit fishy, but to be honest, sometimes you just want to deny information that badly.
Yeah,
This
actually,
is very important that Harstem did scout or did not scout that there was no gas. If he saw that there was no gas, he'd have a better idea of what was coming.
so what's interesting is that MaSa showcases that last night CSL. He did do it on Dusk Towers, but we didn't really make note of it. Gasless CC, gasless 1 racks expand. He does put the supply depot down to block off the probe from seeing before he even goes to the command center, which otherwise looks very odd. If you go for 1 racks Reaper, you're always going to want to wait for that supply depot after the command center. So Harstem might have been fooled by that, but he is going to see the barracks, so it's not fooled for long. Unfortunately, he did not go for the greediest of Nexus. He's going to try and save it.
Now, what's kind of funny is this pylon with an overcharge. It'll deal with one of the bunkers, even with SCVs trying to repair it. It won't deal with 3. And MaSa actually could have fully walled this off if he wanted to.
Yeah, I guess he could have. That would have been silly to see. That is going to be a lot of Marines. They're not really in proxy. Like, they're still pretty far away. But, get the SCVs. Get the SCV. They're going for the Marines. Oh, I think he could have killed the SCVs.
I'm going to just run past this and go to the bunker. But I was going to say, this reminds me a little bit. You remember there was a time where you would actually try and fully wall off, and that was like the best and biggest way to deal with it. Oh, SCVs are outside of range of the overcharge. Ooh. That's unfortunate. Mothership Core, of course, is not going to be able to do much, and that pylon does fall, so this bunker, if this third one gets up, it's in range of the Nexus. This current one is not, however. Salvages the other one for money, because he didn't need it. He was just building it for just in case these. And now with the Mothership Core, and most importantly, the pylon out of the equation, of course, it's not going to be enough to outrange this. So Harstem is likely, not guaranteed, but likely to lose this Nexus at this rate. More Marines are rallying forward, and of course that second bunker can get filled up too.
What really is a tough situation for Harstem is the decision to either try and save it and maybe lose all of your army and all of your probes in your Mothership Core and then probably lose the game that way, or to let it go and have the army and the probes and just replan it down after the Terran loses. Like that decision's got to come very, very soon. Harstem is looking like he's going to try and get as much mining as possible and then pull the probes to try and save it. But a last-ditch effort, MaSa could just focus it down and try and hold back at home with defensive bunkers.
Oh, the Marines that are out of range pop out to help kill that pylon a little bit faster. That is dirty. This is $6,000 on the line for this. For MaSa to do this when he's up in the series makes complete sense. This doesn't work most of the time, but Harstem was caught off guard by it.
Yeah. So it looked like his decision was to just try and let the Nexus go and save whatever he could, but unfortunately, a couple of probes go down on the transfer over. They did not get a lot of time mining off that gold base, and MaSa, you know, he doesn't have to leave.
Well, let's also talk why MaSa can't push forward, though, right? I mean, Stalkers are still technically better than Marines. They can outrange them. They can micro them. Wellmu, if you guys remember when we cast Wellmu versus the Lily Canine, that's the perfect example of how Stalkers can beat out massively crazy outnumbering amounts of Marines with only like 2 to 3 Stalkers. So this situation is pretty sucky for Harstem because he can't take a base, but he also knows that MaSa can't push up. So with that being said, the Warp Prism's not a bad choice to go across the map and try and do some damage, but MaSa has brought the barracks back home. He's building some units, and in fact, oh, this Marine's going to catch it. Oh, Zamgrab, the Marine's going to catch it.
He also scanned to see a robo, and there's not much thought process that has to go into like thinking what that robo's going to get first and foremost. So MaSa, like I said, like he didn't really have to disengage if Harstem was just going to try and break him. He could have taken like a decent trade. But seeing the Warp Prism disengages, just leaves a single bunker, and is going to pull all of his reinforcements back at home.
So this is where this becomes really important, though, because a lot of people are probably going to say, oh, this all these Marines are going to win. But again, Stalkers out micro Marines significantly, and with the help of the Warp Prism, giving them this sort of ghetto blink, even better and even more potential here for control.
Yeah. Still doesn't put him in a great position. He really doesn't kill all that much. 2 SCVs, 1 or 2 Marines, and Harstem is still down 10 workers. plus mules, and down in technology, he doesn't really
Well,
have that great of anything.
once Warp Gate finishes up, you'll be able to get some reinforcements here on the front lines. It won't just be a couple stalkers dicking around trying to get a bit of damage in.
By then it'll be 6 stalkers, and I think that actually that reinforcement's coming home. They're at the natural right now. MaSa would do fine against 6 stalkers without blink.
That's true. But you could have like a sort of blink though.
Yeah. It's would be Harstem's way into this game, taking to this game, but unfortunately he's getting Immortals too. So it'd be really odd of him to go for like this all in with the War Prism, and the Immortals like awkwardly walk up the ramp to try and help afterwards. I think if he is gonna try and bust MaSa, it would be just like a frontal attack with the Immortals, and that looks to be what he's going for. The fact that this has gold bases at the natural was intended to kind of reduce the favoritism to Zerg. Give the other races a chance to get their own gold base quick, but it also means that whenever you're off that one base, the natural, that you're actually falling way farther behind than if you were off of a natural in another map.
We've actually seen, by the way, I just want to like really throw this out there. Like we've seen a lot of games here that end with the Protoss player also winning, just with massive depths thanks to that gold base income, right? So this isn't even just like, oh my god, Terran OP or anything like that. It's just a situation where MaSa OP with the opening. Now Harstem is busting through this wall, and I mean SCVs have to be pulled into this. As funny as that sounds, force fields are great. Oh, force fields are phenomenal in this position. Mothership core coming forward now. Of course, she can. She's probably not looking for a recall. She's probably looking for a time warp, if anything. But the Immortals are trading out really well. Let's not forget that War Prism could save these Immortals. Yep, picks up, drops. Immortals both alive. The longer they live, better chance their barrier comes off of cooldown and go for round 2. But Harstem, unfortunately, leaves the War Prism on the front line. MaSa could potentially focus it. He's trying to now. Harstem leaves. And MaSa will take the series 3-1. And Rifkin will not get food from Harstem.
Aww.